Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're my first to get my videos. So today I'll be making tiramisu cake, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it's a gift, it's a happy birthday gift for my son's friend. I'll be starting with the heavy whipping cream, and it calls for 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And also this is the brand that I have and I end up getting. So I was shocked how this came out because I'm not a coffee person. I can't stand the smell of coffee, but I kind of just taste the and then 1 cup of sugar, and I have the organic sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now I'm not adding brandy. That's the vanilla extract that I use, and so I will be blending this for a just for it to blend. So you guys, I'm not going to be adding any kind of alcohol, okay? And because it's for my son's friend or girlfriend, and she's turned 18. So I want you guys to know that I'll be following the recipe. Mascarpone, that's the mascarpone cheese that I'll be using, and I will put also a cup of that in there. I'll tell you guys, to be honest with you, for this cake pan that I have, I think it's a 9-inch. I would double the ingredients because you'll see at the end. So you can see the consistency right here. That's where I did it. This is my first time doing this, and again, I'm following this blogger on YouTube. Her name is Bigger Bolder Bacon. So excuse me, she's not a blog. I don't think she's a blogger, but that's her name. So this is the coffee that I'll be using. I don't have coffee. I hate coffee. I don't like the smell of it, but my dad was visiting and he ended up getting this one. And it says add 1 teaspoon, and then you add 1 cup of hot water. 1 teaspoon of the coffee to 1 cup of hot water. So now I'll be cutting these wax paper where you know what that you use for the microwave, and just lining the pan. And also I'll I didn't bother like cutting it down to size because I'm not baking this, you guys. This is a no egg, no bake tiramisu cake, okay? And this is the bottom. My goal was to be able to slide this off my bottom pan when I separate them from the side, and then it wouldn't be sticking to the pan because I have the wax paper. But it wasn't going to work. I was too afraid. I was too afraid that it was going to fall apart because I've never made this before. And it's actually not a cake. It was made with lady fingers. So okay, so the YouTuber is Bigger Bolder Bacon, and the name that she have it under is Easy 10-minute Tiramisu cake. So I followed her recipe as much as I possibly could, and I used the lady fingers that I showed you. Never saw this before. And the cocoa powder with no sugar. Now I'm adding my hot water to the coffee. Hey guys, if you haven't by now, please take this chance to subscribe. It's a little subscription button right there, the red one at the bottom. So when this hot water hit the coffee, my nose just went ugh, ugh. I can't stand coffee, you guys. I'm not a coffee drinker, and I'm glad that my husband isn't either. But so basically, Bigger Bolder Bacon said that if you don't have coffee, it's not a tiramisu cake. So that's what it is. So these are the lady finger. I had my thumb right there in order to dip it in the coffee, but after I tried the first one, you saw I didn't keep it in there for very long. The thumb would have went straight through the lady finger. So make sure your hands are clean, which my hands are always clean. Even if I don't show it on YouTube, my hands are always clean when touching anything. It's just had been a habit from me for ever since I was young. My son grew up in the grocery store I used to help my dad and my mom with, and with customers coming in, I never remember if I touched money or didn't touch money or touched products, whatever. So my hands were washed all day long. So another thing I did with the coffee was what I showed you, the 1 teaspoon to 1 cup. Again, double that because I had to make another mixture. So I'm putting the icing on the first layer, and make sure that it goes exactly to the edge, because when you take the side of the pan off, you a little bit will ooze out, then you could just kind of like scrape it in. So tiramisu cake is, I guess, it's not something you could build as a 3 layer. I guess it's too wet and moist that it will probably just collapse. And I see a lot of Pinterest people just keep it in a porcelain dish, or and keep it in there when they either bake it or put it to chill. This is going to go in a refrigerator and sit there. So again, it's a no bake, no egg tiramisu cake. And so that's my first layer. I like how that came out, and I'll be dusting, excuse me, I'm going to be dusting some cocoa powder on this first layer. So I'm only going to go to 2. I guess that's the norms for everything that I've Googled. Never knew of the cake. I think I've heard the name before. And actually, when I told my husband that these are the ingredients that I need, that's when he's like, hey, we have we do have an Italian customer. And he buys this all the time. So my husband knew all this product. So you could tell by the time I'm down to the second layer, the coffee was starting to run out. So again, I would, for the recipe that I'm telling you right here, which was 1 cup of I use heavy whipping cream, use 2 cups, and then 1 cup of the mascarpone cheese, use 2, and 1/3 cup of sugar. Did I say I use a cup of sugar? I'm sorry. I think it's 1/3 cup of sugar. So please take that back. It's 1 cup of the one that has 1 cup is the whipping cream and mascarpone cheese, and then the 1/3 cup of sugar to a teaspoon of tablespoon. I honestly am not a baker, but I would have just doubled that ingredients so that I had more to play with. So prior to this video, which I'll link, I made some art little design out of chocolate ganache, and so I'm going to be putting some on top of, that was the purpose of putting on top of this cake. So see, I'm finishing up, and I still needed, I think I definitely needed more icing in order to cover the little spots that you see there, but I didn't want to make another batch again, so that's why I'm advising you to double your ingredients. So now I'm going to be putting this in a fridge at 136, and a lot of people say wait 3 hours. I waited 2. So I'm decided what stencils I was wanting to use, and so I'll show you which one I end up using. But now it's out of the fridge, but guys, I only did it 2 hours. I advise do it 3 hours, and I don't even know at what point that the other part of the wax paper to the bottom right just kind of scoot up and just disappeared with the rest. So this is why I recommend keep it in there for 3 hours, because the little piece that will be coming off of the cake when you take off the wax paper. And then, but it's okay, you could just put it back together like you're in surgery. And I won't be, so I only dust the first layer with the cocoa powder. And for this one, like I said, I wish I would have did 2 of the recipe so that the top layer could have had more covering. But it was my first time, and again, I want to try this recipe with the lady fingers with tres leches. I want to see how that'll work out, because not every time you want to put on that oven and cook. So I ended up using this happy birthday, and the cake is already chilled, so it was able to put that on there and dust the remaining cocoa powder on there, and just make sure when you lift the stencil that you lift it straight up, not to the side, you just want to be able that nothing covers up messes up the happy birthday. So what I ended up doing was shake off the rest on a wax paper and just empty it back out in the cocoa powder, and take a little butter knife and kind of clean up the spots that you see right there, and just kind of camouflage it back. So I was just so proud that the happy birthday came out, you guys. So I had some extra ganache in the refrigerator, and I wanted to see, just finishing up and do a little piping on here. And silly me, in the I'll be putting it together right here with my color, and I like to call it my adapter just in case I want to change tips. You never know. And that part right there was just the little tip got caught into the cake for a minute. So I'll be getting this ready and adding my my chocolate ganache. But so this is the little arts that I did with the chocolate ganache prior, and I'll be actually in the video shows that I did dark and white and how the dark came out. Watch that video and why I was ending up using the white. I had preferred the dark chocolate instead of the white chocolate, but I'm just sticking a little design all over the place, and her name and her age will be going in there as well. And I figured since I have all the others, you know, just kind of poke it where you want it. So see, this was kind of hard right here, the chocolate ganache. So I ended up putting it in the microwave for a little bit, but I put it in a little bit too long. But before I did that, I was able to get out about six different little squeeze out of it before it just started getting hard, and that's when I ended up look. So look how this one came out really good right here. I like how that came out, really nice consistency. And by the time I was switching up, it was like not sticking to the cake. And I said, okay, maybe it was on the coffee, the cocoa powder, maybe that's why it wasn't sticking. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna put it in a microwave for a few seconds and see how that turns out. But it kind of became too runny, so I just turned it into a ganache drip cake. But you'll see in a minute what I was talking about. So right there, see how it came out? It was starting to run a little bit, and the little stars or design that was coming out of the piping tip originally wasn't, it was kind of melting. So I just kind of covered it up as much as possible and added to the rest, and it dripped a little bit. But, you know, it was a nice cake. It came out pretty well. My son said they ate it yesterday and it's finished. So, and they liked it. So that's all that mattered. It wasn't a big cake in terms of layers. It had like literally maybe 2 layers of lady fingers, and then the chocolate ganache. So this is what you have. How'd you guys like it? What do you think? And all the little chocolate up top, you can eat it. The white chocolate melt, you could eat that as well. So it's my first, and I'm just so impressed. I love how the happy birthday came out, because I didn't, you know, I thought somehow I was going to mess that up. But anyways, guys, it's a cute idea. I followed, again, the ingredients to the baker that I told you from YouTube. And this is one of the easiest recipes that I've ever made. Thanks for watching, and please, 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 please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're my first to get my videos.